Hello all, I'm Sai and in today's video, I'm bringing to you my spoiler-free review of Raybearer and Redemptor by Jordan Ifueko, which is a YA epic fantasy duology, and it is also written in such an epic world in such a detailed yet not daunting way. If you are a person who's looking for a YA fantasy series which is a total page turner, you need to try this duology. In this video, I'll be giving you a spoiler-free review about various different sections of the series and what all I enjoyed about this. And I'm also going to try and convince you to pick up this duology. So without any further ado, let's get into the video right away. First, I want to talk about the plot as usual. In this series, we follow our main character, Tarisai, who's born to this woman called the Lady, and she's born to the woman as well as the supernatural spirit whom the lady communions with in order to give birth to her daughter Tarisai. The reason behind communing with the spirit in specific in order to give birth to her daughter is because Tarisai will have this kind of special ability through which she can read the memories of people just by making physical contact with them. The reason why the lady wants her daughter Tarisai to have this specific power is because she's going to grow up this child and she's going to send the child to this kingdom where the prince, who's also exactly of the same age as Tarisai, is going to form a council of ministers, and there are 13 ministers in this council. Tarisai is to become one of these 13 ministers, and after she becomes and gets the trust of the prince, she wants to make him fall in love with her, and once he falls in love with her, the lady wants Tarisai to go forward and kill the prince. Now Tarisai knows this, and just in order to earn the love of her mother and the care of her mother, she accepts to do this without any other way out of it, and she does everything that is required of her. Now why the lady wants to kill the prince and why she sends a child rather than anyone else to go forward and do this task? Who is this lady and what is the reason behind she wanting to take down this kingdom as a whole, where she has acquired these magical abilities from, and what are all the conspiracies that are running in this world, altogether form the super intricate plot of this series if you ask me. It has this main plot going on, and there are also a number of subplots which are really well built and constructed by the author. If you ask me, in terms of the plot, it is not very difficult to follow. Even though there are quite a number of subplots that are going on, each and every one of them have been made in such a lucid yet detailed way so that we get enough of what is happening, at the same time don't lose track of what is happening and what we are following inside the story. The main plot is given the importance that it needs. At the same time, the author also makes sure to explore a lot of themes using the subplots that she uses inside the series. It is also a series which explores a lot of things like gender identity, wanting and not wanting to have kids, what are all the things that happen in the term of racism and sexism inside this world, and how it doesn't just impact on an individual but the whole society as a whole, no matter whom it happens to. It is such a strong plot that is executed in a really beautiful way by the author here. Now moving on to the characters, whom I think are very powerful pillars for the story or the series to move on. First, I want to talk about Tarisai, who's the main character inside the series. The thing about Tarisai is that she's a good blend of both being mature and impulsive at the same time. Now, if you ask me, of all the characters inside the series, Tarisai is the only person who has a very unique ability. As I said before, Tarisai has the ability to read through the memories of people and stuff. Okay, she just needs to make physical contact with them. That is, she just needs to touch it, or she wants them to touch her, and just by it she can just read through the memories that are stored inside a person or a thing. For people, it is a bit more intricate and well established. When it comes to things, it is not as much detailed because they don't have any consciousness as such. Apart from Tarisai, we also have the Crown Prince Dayo and two of Tarisai's best friends inside the series, namely Sanjeet and Kira. Apart from them, the lady as well as the king inside this country also play a huge role inside the story. There are also a number of other side characters who are extremely important to move the story as a whole, especially in the second book. I'm not going to reveal all their names to you here because I want to keep this video as much spoiler free as I can. But if you ask me, the character work for each and every one of the characters here is really well done by the author. In the first book, it seems like one of the characters whom we see in the beginning is the main antagonist of the story, but as the plot progresses on and when certain things are revealed to us, the antagonist of the story starts shifting, and the person who is shown as the main antagonist in the beginning gets a lot more empathy from us, the reader, after getting to know their backstory. It feels very realistic because just because we get to know the backstory of this antagonist type of person, it's not like we change our perspective on them to be totally good. The author makes us feel that mixed emotion of understanding them at the same time not being able to forgive them because of all the bad things they did. And even when it comes to the main characters here who are all young adults that are just 17 or 18 in age, none of them seem to be immature. Each and every one of them is written in a very mature way because they are all forming this council of ministers who are just basically going to govern this kingdom as a whole. So if they are immature or impulsive in any way, it's not going to make sense for the story to happen. So the way in which the author makes the characters go through certain stuff in order to make them mature and show us to them as these mature people who are still young and have all those dilemmas going in their minds is really, really nice. By saying that they are mature, I don't mean to say that they are totally emotionally blunt in any way. They are emotional, but they are just not impulsive. Now moving on to the world building and writing, of which the world building is one thing which just stunned me in this book. In my script of this video, nearly one whole page of the script just goes on talking about the world building as well as the writing of this author. First, I'll talk about the writing, which is basically really rich, at the same time super easy to read. It flows in such a way that even though it is very rich and super descriptive and makes it easy for you to visualize the story that is being narrated just through words in your mind, it is not difficult to read. You need not pause and just read something over and over again to understand what is happening. You can just go with the flow and still have that picture running in your mind very seamlessly because the author's writing flows that smoothly. It's very silky in its tone, and I personally like that kind of writing because I don't want to go back and read the sentence over and over again just in order to get a clear picture of what's happening. It was not at all the case at any point for me in this book or the series as a whole itself. Each and everything that I read, I had to read just only once in order to get a vivid picture of what it was trying to show me. And each and every visual that was coming in my mind was totally fresh, grand, and just was brimming with some kind of energy that I've not seen in any other such series. Now, the author has taken, I think, more than a decade to write the first book, Raybearer, and it just shows the quality of the writing. Okay, when you're reading that book, it just makes you understand that this is an epic YA book. Okay, it's not like a normal YA fantasy. There is no low stakes, everything is high stakes, and the world that she has built here is very much felt as flesh and blood here. Okay, it feels like an exactly true world that actually exists out there. It does not feel like something that is just made up from words. It is very realistic because it draws in a lot of elements from our actual world. And I think that is achieved only through the author's writing and the refining that she has done over and over through the years that she has written the story. In the afterword of the second book, the author has said a lot of stuff and also talks about how long it took her for writing the first book. I think it is totally worth it because the quality just shows in the writing. Now moving on to the world building, trust me, this world is something which I've not seen ever before in any kind of media. Okay, the kind of history that it has, the lore, the culture, the traditions, the clothes that the people are wearing, the food that they eat, everything was exquisite. Okay, I just enjoy each and every small thing about this world. There are some things that happen in the second book which I cannot reveal right now because of keeping this video spoiler free. Okay, my brain was just like electrified out of nowhere because of certain scenes that were happening and how it all just fit together properly. The extent to which the author was able to expand this world without making it feel boring at all was very fascinating for me. And trust me, I have not eaten fried plantain in my life before, but reading the series made me crave for it. And even when it comes to the magic, of all the elements that she uses here, Tarisai's magic is the most powerful, and it is also something which is so powerful that it can make anyone very vulnerable. And the amount of responsibility that the author as well as the main character should have to wield that power properly was really well done here. So as a whole, I think just for the world building and writing of the author itself, you can go forward and read the series without any doubt. Now finally, talking about the pacing of this series, I like the pacing of both of these books. Okay, they were consistently paced and they were continuously action packed too. There was something or the other happening on in both the books that you want to flip on to the next chapter and get to know what's going to happen. It's also not rushed in any way that some of the emotions that are felt by the characters at certain instances and certain scenes throughout the books are just swept over because of the rushing up or the fast pace of the book. The author knows when to slow down and let the emotions sink into the reader so that we know the gravity of the things that are happening right there and how it is going to shift the characters as well as the things that they are going to do in the further chapters inside the book. So as a whole, I can say that the pacing of the series was very smooth and it helped the plot of the story glide like butter. So I can finally say that I ended up rating the first book, Raybearer Raybearer 4 out of 5 stars. I did not give it 4.5 just because of one chapter alone where something did not happen in the beginning and just after 2 pages it easily happened. I'm keeping it as much big as I can intentionally, okay? And the second book, Redemptor, got a 4.5 out of 5 stars easily from me. If you got a bit more out of the world, trust me, it's easily a 5-star series for me. I don't have any complaints at all and I'm much more satisfied than what I was expecting from the series, and I'd highly recommend anyone who wants to give it a try to go forward and try it, and sure you'll not be disappointed. So yes guys, that's it for my spoiler-free review of Raybearer and Redemptor by Jordan Ifueko. If you've read the series already, please do let me know down in the comments your opinions on it. And if I did convince you to pick it up, tell me that too down below. If you found this video useful and interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. And if you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.